Hi everyone, it's Linda Miles from the TechWomen team. Apologies for the delay. You are here for the June TechWomen Enrichment Webinar. It's my favorite time of the month. And this month is particularly exciting because we are joined by Fatima and Salma, two of our wonderful fellows that are doing many creative things and important things in the virtual space. And I'm really excited to share their tips. But before we get started, I think it's important to go through the GoToWebinar tools and remind everyone that these webinars happen every month and will continue to happen every month. And it's a great way to connect with the TechWomen community, understand the resources that you continue to have, and learn something new, hopefully. So at the end of this webinar, you'll receive a recording of our presentation, a PDF of all of the slides that were shared and the resources. And in addition, you'll get a link to a 3-question survey where we also will include what else do you want to know? And so with that information, the TechWomen team looks through our big and beautiful directory of mentors and fellows, and we hope that we can deliver what it is that you're hoping to learn more about. So please continue to use that. I look at that often and really let that develop our curriculum. Just so you all know, for July, something that I'm thinking about is another follow-up session from someone at LinkedIn, because last month's webinar was very popular and there were a lot of questions. So stay tuned for that. Okay, let's go through some of the tools of GoToWebinar before we get started. So the first thing that I'll do is administer a poll, and this helps me as I am facilitating this to make sure that you all can hear me. So I'd like for you to answer the question that either yes, you can hear me, or no, you can't, and I'll look into those that can't. And ensure that those that can't switch to another audio. Okay, it looks like almost everyone can hear me. Great, I'll close the poll. Thanks for participating. The next thing I'd like for you to do, and this is our most common way to interact, I'd love for you to use the questions box, either on your cell phone or on your laptop, and type in the city and the country that you're joining us, just as a test. This is where you can ask any questions during the webinar. I'll be monitoring, and I'll interrupt Salma and Fatima as needed, or we'll leave it all for Q&A at the end. So thank you for typing in your city and your country. Oh, I love this. We have representation from Kyrgyzstan, Cameroon, Nigeria, South Africa, San Francisco, Egypt, Uzbekistan. Love this. Very typical of our community. Palestine, all over. All right. So strong representation from Algeria with Fatima and Salma joining us. All right, so the last way that I love having participation is hearing your voice. But as you all probably have noticed in past webinars, you're automatically muted, but that function can change. So if you have a question, and we love it when you speak up, practice raising your hand now, and that is the hand function. So I want you to just practice. I won't call out on you. Siri, thank you. Practice raising your hand. So Kelty, thank you. Kizabek, thank you. All right, you all see where the raise your hand function is. So I'm gonna unraise everyone's hand. Miriam, thanks for trying. Okay, got it. And with that, I'm going to hit the start recording button, just so you all know. Again, we'll share all of the resources at the end of this. And I'll hand it over to both Salma and Fatima. And before you both start speaking, I just wanted to say thank you so much again. You've been so fantastic to work with as we plan this. I myself will be taking notes because you're such a resource. And you all are what motivate me to do my job better. So I appreciate you both so much.
Thank you, Linda.
It is all yours. So let me know if you have any questions as you go along.
Thank you. So I guess my webcam is not sharing. I don't know why, because for me it works well. But
Okay.
yeah.
So you are
So
here, Fatima, just to confirm.
yeah. I'm still here, but I'm sorry. My webcam looks like it's working, but it's not. It's not showing any screen. So for the test, it's working, but not for you. So just go and start. I'm sorry if you can see my face.
Hello, TechWomen family. I'm happy to be with you today to share with you our experience in designing online events. I'm Salma Bakouche, blogger on Salma Share, recruiting assistant at RedMed Group in Hassim Saud, information technology engineer graduated from EUSI, École Nationale Supérieure d'Informatique. My hobbies are writing, reading, volunteering, and traveling. And I'm excited to share this session with you with my mentor, Fatima Zohra Benhamida. I let her introduce herself to you. Go ahead,
Thank
Fatima.
you. Thank you so much, Selma. Hello, everyone. Hello again. I'm so excited to be here with the greatest Tech Women family. And of course, I want to thank Linda and all the Tech Women team for the great opportunity to share with you today some of our experiences and also mainly what we've learned from it. So I'm Fatima Zohra Benhamida, assistant professor at Higher National School of Computer Science, the same Selma speak about. And I'm holding a PhD and engineering degree in computer science from the same university. I'm also an academic and research consultant working with a consulting agency in Sweden, based in Sweden. And as a TechWomen alumni, I belong to the board member of TechWomen Tech Girl Algeria Club chapter. Of course, without forgetting to mention being a proud mom of two. So this is really important. This is part of my job also. So next. So of course, as Linda, next please, next slide. Okay, thank you so much, Linda. So we picked here some pictures, of course, as from our TechWomen journey. So the one on the bottom, on the left, I picked this picture when I visited the Carnegie Mellon University at the NASA Research Center with my mentor, Janice. She's here in the picture. She's right in the middle and just next to me on my left. And of course, Janice invited me and Miriam on the other side, a TechWomen alumni also from Algeria, to speak to her students in the Carnegie Mellon University and share our challenges as women in technology in Algeria. And it still brings back to me many great memories, this special picture. We have also Ramya, our impact coach with Janice, and the two other mentors were Miriam's mentor in Twitter. So speaking of Twitter, Selma has to share her experience also.
Yes, we both, I'm very proud and happy that we both belong to TechWomen community. I joined TechWomen in 2018 and I was hosted at Twitter for my mentorship project where I worked on why love where you work with my two professional mentors, Jai Holler and Prachi Poder. I had the privilege to represent also our community in 2019 in two events. The first one in the Tech Girls program as flight chaperone with my friends, Tech Women Follows from MENA region. So we share our career experience with high school students of MENA region at Trinity University in Washington, D.C. And I joined also Microsoft Ignite conference as delegate with 18 follows our friends from MENA Africa and Asia. Next, Linda.
Actually, Actually, the picture here, Selma and I, it was when we were at the Microsoft Ignite 2019. We were together as TechWomen delegates, and I gave also a talk at Microsoft Ignite, and we were so proud to represent TechWomen family. We could even have a private shout out to TechWomen from the representative from Microsoft who invited us, and we were so happy to have during the kickoff event saying, say hi to TechWomen, they are great, go and speak with them and talk with them. And so we were so proud to represent this community.
Yes.
Fatima and Salma, you might not see this, but Marianne is on the line, and so is Molly, who I know both joined you at Microsoft.
Yeah, great. Hi, Molly. Hi, Marianne.
Salma, I received some feedback that you're a little quiet, so if you can speak a little closer to your microphone, and I'll switch to the next slide.
Okay. Go next, and it's better now? Can you hear me?
It looks great for me.
Hello?
Yeah,
it's
it looks
good for
great.
you.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
good.
So during the quarantine time, I was involved in many activities and online events. The first, I was a speaker in 9 Zoom and lives with different clubs and associations here in Algeria. We talked about between work and learning. We talked about how can you work on your LinkedIn profile. I ran 4 sessions to highlight the importance of mentoring in our daily life and professional career. And also I collaborated with different clubs to show them how they can apply to different scholarships abroad. Also, I participated and co-organized 2 home camps, virtual home camps in STEM and artificial intelligence with my friends based here in Algeria from different clubs in the south, north, and the east and west of Algeria, in addition to our leaders from Paris and California. I will talk more in details about those experiences later. Also, I was hosted at Cafe in Live, which is an interview online, Facebook and LinkedIn, to talk about the importance of mentorship for women and girls in STEM field. And I showed the example of TechWomen and TechGirls programs and what are the tools we used to empower women in those fields. This broadcasting is designed for French-speaking communities in Canada, France, and Algeria, and it was interactive as it was live. So we had to answer different questions received during this live. Another event, which is a dream event for me, even if I did it from my home, TEDx Online Polytech Oran. I shared and recorded my journey in blogging on Salma Share. You can find it on my YouTube channel that I shared yesterday. Next. So it's turn to Fatima to share her events.
Yeah, my agenda was not so as full as yours, Selma, of course, but still, we try to do we try to do the maximum we could during this quarantine. So the positive side from this quarantine is that you can catch up with all the tasks you have been pending because you are going outside, you are very busy with the outdoor life. So one of the things we did both actually is that we launched a website. Salma launched her blog website, and I launched mine also, where we can share all these experiences we are speaking about. But at the same time, and which was really interesting, is that we could finally say yes to many invitations that we couldn't respond because it's we cannot travel, or because our agenda is full. But now it's a matter of few hours from your room to share your experiences. So from my side, I have been in 2 sessions for what we called Global Women in Technology Opportunities. It was with collaboration with the group Google Developer Group GDG Algeria, and Women Tech Maker Tipaza, it's from Algeria also. So I have been to these sessions. I have participated as an organizer, so behind the scenes, but also as a speaker. So as an organizer, I helped GDG Algeria to find the international speakers, because the idea behind is to share all the global opportunities all around the world for women in tech, to help them to thrive and to help them to get more involved in technology. So, by the way, we have invited the US Embassy representative to share about TechWomen and to hear more about it, and we had a great feedback. But also, the second session, I participated as an organizer, but at the same time, I took place in the panel as a speaker and responding to questions from the audience, where I shared all the opportunities I have been in, like TechWomen, Microsoft Ignite, and other postdoctoral and professional opportunities. I have been also asked from 2 university clubs to give them an online workshop on how to succeed or how to present their project. So mainly for the first presentation, with the first university, mainly it was addressed for the final year projects, for final year students to prepare their master defense, and then we got a great feedback that the second one, we had more than 600 subscription from Algeria, but even from Morocco and Tunisia. And we couldn't do it like a private meeting, so we go broadcast on Facebook mainly. I have also been invited by an Algerian who is living in America, but he wanted to make across a multi-domain panel speaking about the economy in the era of COVID-19. So the idea was to highlight the competencies inside Algeria by inviting faculty members, but also students, delegates, and speak about how can we help Algeria to get off this crisis of COVID, and in each domain. But the common thing with Salma is to also speak, to be invited for the TEDx online. So to be honest, don't think it's easy. For me, it was harder to talk in stage. What would be easier than to record a video when walking on my kids' Lego. So it was really really challenging for me to make it happening. Even if it was a recording video, it was not interactive, but still it was a really good experience we want to share maybe later with details.
Yes, I joined Fatima in this point, because at home you need to avoid noise. You need to share, to look for light. Personally,
Exactly.
I waited until all my members' family sleep to do it in the morning.
Exactly.
With the light. Yes, it's not
Yeah,
really,
we're gonna speak
really
about
easy.
that.
It seems easy to do recording from home, but it's not.
Yeah, exactly. I was first, when they told me that TEDx switched to be online, I was like, oh, but I wanted to be on this TEDx stage and to feel all the TEDx experience. But while recording, I was like, oops, it's even harder to record the TEDx event. So without further ado, let's dig into our subject, which is our topic, which is how can we be involved in all this community engagement, but online, because with the quarantine, but even after this virus will disappear, maybe, hope for soon, people are tending to switch more for online events, and we want to share with you our experience. But before that, we have prepared 2 polls that maybe Linda will launch them soon to know what are your concerns, or how do you really want us to develop, which part of our experience you want to develop more. So Linda, please, you can launch the first poll as soon as you can.
Here's the first one. So have a look at your screens and answer. Have you lately participated in an online event, and if so, how? And you might have multiple, but choose the one that, Fatima, maybe you can correct me, but choose the one that you most often are.
Yes, maybe. Yeah, it's better since here we don't have multiple choice. So just choose the one that represents you the best. And if you have not, so by lately we may we want to say, especially during the quarantine, because everything has switched so quickly, and we wanted to make events, and yeah.
So we have 60% of the attendees have voted, and the breakdown right now is a little over half have been mostly an attendee. About 40% have been an organizer, which I'm not surprised with this group.
Yeah.
They're organizing a lot of things. And
yes.
7% speaker. I'm going to close this poll and move to the next question.
Okay.
Thank you everyone for answering this one. Get ready to answer one more question. Next one is, I'm hoping to. So I'm hoping to either organize an event, speak at an event, or you're not sure.
Yeah, especially what you are expecting from us today.
Great. With nearly 60% voted again, we have about 50% that want to organize and 50% that want to speak, and very few that don't know.
Okay, so perfect.
That's great.
Yeah, that's great.
Great.
So actually we are here to, okay, thank you so much. And we can go to the, yeah. So actually we are here to speak about both. Of course, as attendee, basically you don't have to do anything, but if you are a speaker or you are an organizer, this is all for you, because you can reflect on what we are going to share, either whether you are a speaker or organizer. And of course, if you want us to develop more on one of them, just don't hesitate to drop a question, or of course we can develop later. So next slide, please, Linda. So what we decided, or what we have thought that it would be better to represent for an online event, is to by a chronological way. I mean, we are going through 3 main phases, which is before the event, during the event, and after the event. So let's start before the event, which we consider as the most important phase, because if you do it right, if you do it good, you will save a lot of energy, especially during the event, a lot of surprises also. So you have to prepare many actions or many your checklist before the event, basically mainly starting by answering these questions. What is the subject I want, either as a speaker or organizer? What is the subject I want to, or the topic I want to address during my event, and what are my audience? This is really important, because with the topic you will know the type of the event, the type or the kind of activities you need to do in your event. Will your event be only a talk or interactive session, a workshop, or do you need to integrate videos, etc.? It depends on your topic. The audience also, it depends, because if you have a great number, you need also, it will depend on all the other actions that we will develop just right now. So when you answer these questions, what are the what is the biggest topic of my event or the topic of the talk if I'm invited as a speaker, who is my audience, is it a non-technical audience? I need to maintain a very clear language to make it understood by everyone, or do I have to dig into details if I'm with the people in the domain, etc. And of course, you need to be aware of the list of speakers, organizers in your plan. Then there is a really important thing in the online event, and maybe this is exclusive for the online event, which is the tool. So today we are all in the GoToMeeting or GoToWebinar tool, but you know that we have plenty of tools. Lately, we have been using Zoom, one of the most common tools. Microsoft Teams also. There is a very interesting tool which is called StreamYard. So we're going to give you all the resources by the end of in the last slide, but don't hesitate to ask more about any tool or any option you want to integrate into your event. And it's really important also because, for example, if you have Zoom, you need to know, do you have a professional account that will allow you 1,000 attendees, or only a limited account that it will be limited to 100 attendees and 45 minutes and it will cut off, which is really, I did this experience and it was really disturbing. But if you have a professional or a license for the Zoom, you can, with unlimited time, etc. Do you want your event to be private, like the one we are doing right now? Or do you want it to be broadcasted so you can go for Facebook Live, YouTube Live, etc.? Are you willing to make interactive event, like one where you interact with, on a panel, for example, interacting between speakers, or also interacting with the attendees with Q&A session, etc.? Or do you want to hold an informative talk, like the TEDx talk, for example? It was only informative. You need to record and you need to go. And even you can do an informative talk online also, I mean, on real time. Live, I mean, not online, yeah. And it's really important to check all your tools, the computer, the phone. Do you have all the tools or all the software installed properly, etc.? So the other thing is the venue. So it's weird to hear about venue in an online event, but I did it in purpose to write venue because it's really important. Choosing the room where you will be holding your online session is really important. You need to choose a quiet place where you don't have back noise, your sound is clear, you have a good source of light, and you don't have like a background, it's disruptive background. So choosing a venue is really important. Don't leave it to the last minute and you will find yourself with the background where kids are running or something like that, and with a very bad noise. Then you need also to prepare the support. The support is any slides like the one we are sharing now, or any also sometimes during the interview, you need to prepare a whole script for your live. So many of the interview events will choose to prepare the script. Selma have been through this experience and can share later more. Then you need also to communicate. So whether you are a moderator or a speaker, if you are a moderator, I mean organizer, you need to really prepare a good agenda. I mean, what are the deadlines? What are the action to do? What is the first action, the second and the third, to organize everything and to set deadlines for that, and to communicate them to the speaker so that you let them know about what do you need from them and when exactly. Also, you need to share with them any source, any template you need them to use. You need some time when you have many speakers to launch a doodle between them, so you can find a good common schedule for all of them, speaking about the global women in tech opportunities. So we had speakers from United States, from Algeria, from Tunisia, Morocco, and also from Dubai. So by the time the United States woke up, the one in Dubai was breaking the fast, and it was really interesting to find the common schedule that we can put all these people together. So this is important, especially when you have a lot of speakers or a lot of organizers inside, participants inside the event, and they are from different geographical sites. If you are a speaker, you need to communicate your bio, your photo, your presentation deck, or anything that have been asked by the organizer, or anything you need to send to the organizer for your event. One of the most important actions also is to promote the event. So the thing is that the event is online, and generally, or I mean, most of the time, if you want to reach a great community, or it is an open online event, you need to promote using your emails, your social media account. You need to make it to be sure that it is well spread within the community. And also, without forgetting, if you want to limit the event for a private one, or if you want to have statistics, you want to launch subscriptions, so don't forget during the promotion to launch this subscription. And the last thing is to run tests. It's really important to do that, because you will make sure you have less surprise, but surprises are always there, but you at least you will make sure that you have the less surprises by checking your tools, that everything is working well on your computer, that the speakers are getting familiar with the tool, if it is the first time, or even if it is if they used to use it, but at least for your event they know how to use it, how they will run all the event, and discuss any further details with the speaker once you try this test. So now that you prepared all these actions, I know maybe it will take the most important part of efforts you will do, but still, during the event is the most amazing and most interesting experience you would live. And I will give the floor to Salma, so she will share through a case study how do we live during the event, an online event. Go ahead,
Thank you,
Salma.
Fatima. Go ahead, Linda, please. So, during the event, we choose to present for you a case of study, which is the Home Camp 2020 in Algeria, the big virtual conference in Algeria during 3 days in Ramadan after Iftar that we prepared during 3 weeks. We had 16 hours of streaming on 5 platforms, 2 YouTube channels, Mubashir Silicon Valley and Nukhab, and 3 Facebook pages, Limitless Learning, Nukhab, and Mubashir Silicon Valley. We had also 7 speakers from 4 continents, continents, which means we had speakers from Silicon Valley, Boston, Paris, Emirates, and Japan. And we worked as a group of volunteers, 14 volunteers from 10 clubs and associations. We were surprised by the big number of applicants that we had, 15,000 applicants, and we had more than 60,000 views on YouTube. It seems easy when we talk about the home camp, but I took some note of challenges that we had, and I want really to share with you if you want to organize such as event. So it was successful event, knowing that our team faced a lot of challenges. The first one is preparing our Algerian audience to such as virtual conferences and events. And through a lot of test sessions and mock presentations, we conducted a test session with our speakers to let them display their presentations and their video, and to verify that everything was okay for them. Also, we needed to test, as we choose StreamYard, we needed, it's new for us, so we needed to test different features offered by this software. Also, we met, I want to share with you this, after a big number of applicants, we started sending confirmation. Then we discovered that Gmail doesn't allow sending more than 2,000 emails per day. We needed to split addresses between us as volunteers to send emails of confirmation on time. Also, we had during the event, as we streamed on 5 platforms, we need to manage different received questions and comments received simultaneously from those platforms. So we need to pick the relevant questions and comments to our speakers. And maybe technical, even we prepare everything, we had technical problems, as the first speaker during the first days had a Wi-Fi problem, so we needed to move to the second one and coming back to him. We had also one of our volunteers who had electric problem, and we had another volunteer who got sick, so we needed to handle all their tasks. So this is the objective we wanted to share with you behind the scene of live event. And I let know Fatima to share with you how we conclude, because we have a lot of work also to do to complete our event after event. Go ahead, Fatima.
Thank you, Salma. So a lot of work, yeah, but not as much work as we did before the event and during. So next slide, please, Linda. So once you're done with your event, don't think that it's okay. You need foremost, you need it's really important to collect feedback and even to make an auto evaluation process, just to know what went good and what went wrong, and you can make this feedback, you can use them for your future events to make them even better. Don't forget to send certificates. Some events promise to send certificates for the participants, so you need to handle all of this, who has really attended, and you need to prepare the certificates and send it to them. Don't forget to share any article, opportunities, resources you promised to share during your event, for example, links or articles on online or websites, whatever, with the participants. Either it depends, using emails or using your personal or the private event webpage or social media accounts, etc. So it would be, generally we share online recording after the event. So again, if it is private, you share it on a private drive, or if you can also put it on the Facebook recording or on Instagram. It depends on what platform are you using. And most importantly, don't forget to promote your event even after it happened. So share a recap about the event, especially about the, as Salma said, the all the behind the scenes, and also what you collect as statistics, and what you collect as feedback, or also as lesson learned for you, or even as a speaker, as an organizer, whatever, anything that you think it's valuable for the community. Don't hesitate to share it using social media. Sometimes you can have invitation, or you can even go to the press and share all of these. So to make a recap, next, please, Linda. To make a recap, just make sure that when you are preparing an online event, or if you want to be engaged for an online event, make sure that you prepare well before the event, that you don't panic during the event, but because there are always surprises during the event. Home camp, people cannot deny that it was really, really successful, but when you speak with the organizers as Salma, you cannot imagine how many surprises they faced during the event. So don't panic, and of course try to evaluate after and have your feedback done. But most importantly, during the 3 phases, try to enjoy, because really it's a good moment to share with people, even if you are in your own room. So I will give the final maybe word to Salma before we conclude. Next,
Linda,
please.
next. The best is yet to come. So I'm, as member volunteer of We Algerians initiative against COVID-19, we are preparing an education camp for teachers in Algeria to help them moving from in-class courses to online courses. So we prepare for them materials shared on the website. Also, we will have virtual conferences, panels, and workshops from 20 to 26 June 2020, and we will have Fatima as guest panelist, inshallah, during the first day. Next.
So
Linda?
maybe with this, we are concluding with this, yeah?
And at the end, we want to share with you some tools, resources that you may find online, available online. You can use to organize your events. You will also find examples of our events as home camp, Fatima's TEDx talk, to have an idea of online events. Thank you for being with us. And Linda, are you here?
Yeah, we're waiting only for this. Yeah, no problem, Linda.
I'm experiencing the same technical difficulties that we had this morning, so my screen share has gone down, but I'm still here.
Yeah, so we're done. Of course, you missed only the last slide where we have resources, but it's only a link, so you will have it in the recording and also in Linda's email. So now we are open to your Q&A, questions to be answered, and feel free to share or to ask anything you want to know more.
And I'll monitor the questions that come in and any hands raised. I would love to kick us off, if I may. I have many questions too.
Go ahead.
What was your stepping stone event? Like what did you do on a smaller scale before you did something big? And can you walk us through that process? And did you have a lot of tests? Did you do anything for a really small community before you open things up to the larger community? Can you talk about that a little bit more?
Okay. So Salma, you go. Okay. Maybe okay, go Salma.
Okay. So for the home camp, already it was designed or it was organized in last December by the same group of team leaders in the east of Algeria, 3 universities, and they scheduled the same event in the west of Algeria in June 2020. But as the COVID-19, they couldn't travel from US and France, so they think if we can do it remotely and live. That's the first motivation to move to the large, such as big conference.
Okay, if I may add something, it's well, first there are some good steps to know, even when you organize in-person events. For example, respecting deadlines, making agenda with the action plan, what to do first, how to invite people, speakers, etc. The only thing that will differ, that will not be the same, is instead of taking care of the venue physically, of the coffee break, of the any icebreaker activities, you will take care of the tools you will use and of the any technical and software and digital equipment, or digital, I mean, logistics. So this is what differs. So if you are used to organize in-person events, it will be easy. Another tip, maybe I told you, Linda, about that before, is to even take, is to observe how people do this. Today, I am I'm a panelist in the TechWomen webinar, but for all the previous TechWomen webinars since my 2017 TechWomen program, I have been as an attendee, and not only I was able to take a good lessons from the technical topic we were I mean speaking about, but also I was observing how TechWomen is dealing, how they are sending invites, how they are using the tool, how they are checking on that everyone monthly knows how to use the tool, even if it is repetitive, etc. So try to observe how people are doing this if you have never done this before, and just go ahead, your motivation, and you will learn. This is why feedback is important.
I may add also, it's important to work with a team, because when you have an experienced members in your team, they can transfer to you this knowledge. Personally, I don't know those tools. I didn't do a comparative study before, but now I'm doing it because I'm working with a team who showed me how to do and how to process and follow the process. For example, for the script, I noticed how the organizer is doing it, because I don't know that we need script to respect time, to follow the process. Then it can be easily for us to manage the time and our energy during the event.
Great, thank you. We have several more questions, and I just want to do a quick time check. We have about 10 minutes left, so I'm really hoping we can get to all the questions. I have some that have been typed in, but I also have a hand raised, and you all know I love it when we can hear someone's voice. So, Dalal, I'm going to unmute you, and you can ask your question.
Thank you so much. This is Dalal Sherman from Jordan. Oh, I miss you, ladies. It's really nice seeing your faces. I know Fatima, we're from the same cohort, and Salma, we traveled together as chaperones with Tech Girls last year. So thank you so much, ladies, for the very informative webinar. Actually, I have a comment here. I work for a business incubator, and we've been running training workshops offline. But after the COVID-19, the most challenging thing is, okay, I agree with you that if you used to run offline events, they know how to run the online ones. But the most challenging thing is having people engaged during those kind of workshops. So because in the offline events, you see the body language of the people, you can say, okay, people, you seem like sleepy, go and take a break. But when it's an online session, it's really tricky because you don't see them. You don't know if they are engaged or not. So yeah, I found it like very important from my experience to, and I need to hear from your experience also. But from my experience, it's yeah, you need to keep track with the trainer himself, to check with them, to have like some icebreakers during the event, to check with them in a regular, like every 15 minutes, who has a question, or maybe to ask questions to people. To candidates. So he may ask like, I need to hear from you, Fatima. What about yeah.
Sure.
So, yeah, it's challenging actually, the online training.
Thank you. Actually, it's a really great question to ask, because this is something also good to share. So, for example, for home camp, what they did, as the main audience, the greatest audience was for students, and they wanted to have certificate for participation, because the conferences were high level, and they wanted at least to share that, to mention that they have attended such a great conference. So what they did, they notify people that they will receive a form to answer. Yeah, like a quiz to answer, and they didn't say about what, about I mean, of course they mentioning all the conferences. So this will keep you always attract and focused on what they are saying, because you don't want to miss what the speakers are saying. And what they did, by the way, is that they stopped sharing the online recording on YouTube, on Facebook. After they close the quiz, they open it back to all public, to people, because so people, they will not cheat. So when you notify this to people, if you can find this sort of quiz, and especially if you have certificates, so people will be more focused on what you will say, because they know they have an exam after that. But also try to make it the most interactive possible. I always, by observing, what I've observed when we've done the TechWomen, Bilal, you were with us when we did the TechWomen Tech Girl MENA meeting. We had 2 icebreakers for 1 hour or 2 hours meeting. We had 2 icebreakers, and we have the breakout sessions. And during the breakout sessions, it was with small group, and we needed to interact, and you cannot get distracted by something else, because you are in small group, like you need to take part of this discussion. So I found this as a good way to keep people engaged. Maybe there are a lot of other tips, but these ones could work also.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Bilal.
We have another hand raised, my favorite thing, and then we'll go to some of the chat. But Marianne, I'm going to unmute you.
Oh, Marianne.
Salma and Fatima, it's so great to see you. Thank you so much for doing
it. So great to hear you, Marianne.
I have a question. I am amazed that you did that home camp 2020. So I would like to know what the topics and subject matters were of the camp, and what kind of feedback you received from the participants.
Okay,
go ahead.
So the subjects was well about the last trends in research, how we can build the research academic research, and defend our thesis. The last trends in electronics and autonomous vehicles, and artificial intelligence. Sorry, because I French and English. And also, yes, the last exploration of NASA in Mars planet.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
They are all
Algerian experts in the United States, Japan, France, Emirates. Yeah.
That's amazing that you gathered that many people from so many different continents and countries during Ramadan.
Yes. And the feedback we had, that people love the experience, because especially students, they are not familiar with attending conferences and going like we did in Microsoft Ignite. So seeing that virtual, it was like new for them. Also, the most questions or the most demand that they need specific subjects. That's why we went for artificial intelligence camp last 5 June, and we are organizing more, inshallah, incoming weeks.
Yeah,
Okay, great.
Something that we didn't mention, of course, something that we didn't mention is that we did the, how do you call sondage? What we did the
survey.
Yeah, like many surveys, even asking people who wants to attend the home camp, what language will prefer? Is it English, French, Arabic, mix of English and Arabic, mix of French and Arabic, and we respect the vote. So,
wow.
And it was a mix of English, Arabic.
Yeah,
The most people asked the
English and Arabic. And speakers have to respect the vote of the audience. The survey about the type of topics they want to be addressed, and they choose the speakers and the topics according to the results of the surveys. Yeah.
Yes.
Congratulations. What an amazing feat. Really.
Yeah,
Let somebody else ask a question. We're going to run out of time. Great to see you.
Yep. Thank you, Marianne.
Yeah.
Great questions. All right, moving quickly to the next one. Time check, we have 3 minutes, so I'll move on, and then I'll give you both some time to also just give your final thoughts. So this one comes from Molly on the TechWomen team. How long should most sessions be for maximum engagement? So thinking about the timing of sessions that you host, what's the cutoff? Like what's too much time? What's too little time? What's the sweet spot?
Yeah, how long?
Yes.
The average?
For example, home camp, it was 1 hour. For other sessions I conducted alone, it was 30 minutes, 45 minutes, the max.
Okay, Salma, it was 1 hour per speaker, but we had three speakers on day. I mean, it's
6 hours.
Yeah, it was 6 hours per day. To be honest, Molly, it depends. It depends on how do we say, on how important your event is. Because when you find people are willing to, when you found 6,000 subscribers for an event, they are not going to miss this kind of event. So to be honest, myself, I was like staying late at night because of the time zone difference. Hopefully it was during Ramadan, and so we tend to stay longer at night, etc. And I didn't want to miss the live, because I can even interact with the speakers who are really high level speakers. This is the first thing. The second one is that I forgot what I want to say. Okay, the second one, yeah, is the importance also of the subject. So, for example, for the global opportunities for women in tech, I had a feedback from a girl who told me, thank you so much for sharing this. She was attending from South Korea, and it was 2 a.m. and the subject, when she clicked on the Facebook Live, she found that the subject is really important, that she couldn't get to bed to sleep, and she didn't want to miss it. Even it was a Facebook Live that she could watch it after that. So she asked her question, we answered the question, and then she directly gave me her feedback. So I understand by this that when you have a very important subject, when you have something that people are looking for, not you are willing to share for people, that you will attract people more and you will get them engaged. So it's mainly this, but for a general response, it cannot be more than 2 hours, because 2 hours becomes honestly, even for the speaker being here 2 hours, and especially camera on, etc., it may be too long for them. Yeah.
Great, thank you. I know that we're right on on time, and I'd like to stick with it. Munira had a couple really great questions in follow-up. I'm going to read the questions, but I encourage you both to reach out to her, or for Munira to reach out to you. And you can answer them specifically, but she wanted to talk a little bit more about the purpose of home camp, How did you attract your audience and how did you attract your speakers? Hopefully you all can connect after, but I just wanted to thank you both again for your time and your commitment to the TechWomen community and sharing best practices. I hope that the conversation doesn't end here and that everyone feels comfortable reaching out to you. July 15th is going to be our next enrichment webinar for this group. And I'll continue to send out communications, but I wanted to hand it over to you both for some final words before we all say goodbye, and again, express my gratitude for your time and your energy leading up to today and for your time today. So
thank you so much, Linda. Yeah.
Leaving it with you.
Okay, thank you. So last word, it's incredible. It's crazy how time flies when we are with great TechWomen family. I wish we could stay more and answer more questions, but please don't hesitate to reach out. We have the last slide, all our contact information, etc. So again, thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to share, because it's really important. Paying forward to our TechWomen community, it's always a duty for us. So I'm also very proud and happy to be among you today and to belong to such a great family. Salma.
Again, I consider TechWomen community as my second family. So I'm very, very happy and excited to be here with you today to share all those amazing experiences here in Algeria, to all of you in US, in Asia, Africa, MENA, everywhere. I hope really that we can share with you some tips and tricks that help you to organize your event and inspire us as well. So please feel free to reach us by email, LinkedIn, Twitter. We are here to answer your questions. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you again.
Mm-mm.